The political world is still reeling from the craziness that ensued at the White House between President Trump and President Zelensky on Friday. And in this video, we're going to talk about a brand new update that President Trump has just spoke about on the matter. We're also going to show you a hilarious video because liberals right now are saying, oh my gosh, President Trump was so disrespectful. I've never seen anything more disrespectful in the history of the United States. And a CNN polling expert is giving them a hilarious reality check, and you gotta see that. And finally, we're gonna show you a video from Beck where he explains how Trump's Ukraine strategy is the most genius version of 4D chess that he has ever seen. So we're gonna get all into that. My name is Clayton Kearns from TrendingPolitics.com. If you have not already, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video. It really helps us out in the algorithm. It really does. You have no idea. So please, just really quickly before we get into it, leave a like on this video and let's get into it. So first of all, Zelensky this morning made the grave error of, first of all, everybody wants peace in this situation, right? Russia doesn't want the war to really continue on. The United States doesn't want the war to continue on. And Ukraine is losing a ton of people. Who doesn't want peace? But for some reason, Zelensky this morning is like, you know what? Peace is just very, very far away. This man does not know anything about diplomacy. This man does not know anything about negotiation. And here's President Trump's short reaction to that, and then we're going to get to his Truth Social post.
President Zelensky supposedly made a statement today in AP. I'm not a big fan of AP, so maybe it was an incorrect statement, but he said he thinks the war's going to go on for a long time. And he better not be right about that.
And so that was his short comment there, but this is what he tweeted, or he truthed earlier. This is the worst statement that could have been made by Zelensky, and America will not put up with it for much longer. It is what I was saying. This guy does not want there to be peace as long as he has America's backing, and Europe, in the meeting they had with Zelensky, stated flatly that they cannot do the job without the United States. Probably not a great statement to have made in terms of a show of strength against Russia. What are they thinking? Now that leads us to President Trump's update on the matter. Somebody asked him, what do you need to see from President Zelensky to restart these negotiations? And President Trump was very, very firm, just as he was at the White House the other day. He's like, I can't allow this guy to come back when he treated us like that in the Oval Office. So let's watch what President Trump has to say about this.
To see from President Zelensky to restart these negotiations?
Well, I just think he should be more appreciative because this country has stuck with them through thick and thin. We've given them much more than Europe, and Europe should have given more than us because, as you know, that's right there. That's the border. This country really was like the fence on the border. It was very important to Europe, and I'm not knocking Europe. I'm saying that they were a lot smarter than Joe Biden because Joe Biden didn't have a clue. He just gave money hand over fist. And they should have been able to equalize with us. In other words, if we gave $1, they should have given. Well, we gave $350 billion. They probably gave $100. But on top of it all, they get their money back because they're doing it in the form of a loan, and it's a secured loan. So when I saw that, which I've known about for a little while, I said it's time for us to be smart. At the same time, it's great for them because they get us in the country taking the rare earth, which is going to fuel this big engine, and especially the engine that we've in a very short time created. And we get something, and we're there. We have a presence there. With all of that being said, I want one thing to happen. I want all of those young people to stop being killed. They're being killed by the thousands every single week. Last week, 2,700 were killed. 2,700 young, in this case, just about all young boys. From Ukraine and from Russia. And that's not young people from the United States, but it's on a human basis. I want to see it stop. The money is one thing, but the death. And they're losing thousands of soldiers a week. And that's not including the people that get killed every time a town goes down or a missile.
So, guys, from the very beginning, President Trump has wanted one thing from this: peace. And for some reason, Zelensky, who has no, just as we heard from Trump the other day, Zelensky has no cards to hold in this situation. Yet somehow he's trying to be tough. It's like bluffing at poker when you literally have nothing to play with. I mean, you can bluff all you want, but at the end of the day, you don't have the cards. And at the end of the day, Zelensky does not have the leverage he thinks he does. And so President Trump is like, hey, Zelensky should be, like, he can come back to the negotiating table, but he has to be more respectful and he has to be reasonable and he has to, above all, want peace in this situation, which it doesn't think that it doesn't look like he actually wants. And that leads us to this next video where, after this whole aftermath, there's videos of liberals crying, sobbing on camera. I can't believe Zelensky was treated like this. I just cannot believe it. When Zelensky was the one who went to the White House and was screaming at the president and the vice president of the United States of America at the White House, just a complete disrespect on his part, acting hostile. And liberals are like, this is like the worst thing I've ever seen from a leader. I can't imagine it. Harry Enton of CNN is saying a little bit of a reality check. Trump's net approval on Russia-Ukraine +2 is far more positive than Biden's was by the end, -22. The share, 31% to 50%, who want a compromise in the war is way up. So, basically, under Biden, 31% wanted a compromise. Under Trump, 50% want a compromise. The share who say Russia is the enemy is way down, 64% to 34%. That's up for interpretation. Russia by no means is, Vladimir Putin is no angel by any means. But at the same time, people have to see the behavior by Zelensky lately and understand that there's not like a truly good guy in this scenario between the two. So let's take a look at what Harry Enton has to say.
Well, I think the easiest way we can kind of just ask this is, do Americans like the way that Trump's handling his job and compare it to how they felt about Joe Biden? So this is the net approval rating. You look at Joe Biden back in 2024, he was 22 points underwater. Holy cow. You look at Donald Trump, it's just a different planet entirely. The gulf between these two is wider than the Gulf of America or Mexico, depending on which side of the aisle you stand on.
And just think about this, guys. Look at this discrepancy here. Look at this discrepancy. That's a 24-point swing, and the Democrats are still wondering why they lost the election. Do you think that it could maybe be because you weren't going to be ending this war anytime soon? Do you think the American people want continuous war with no end in sight? No, so let's keep watching this.
He's at +2. So look, at this particular point, Americans are giving Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt. He's doing considerably better than Joe Biden was doing on the handling of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And so on this simple question, I think Americans are saying, okay, Donald Trump's doing all right on this.
What about specifically on how they feel about bringing the war to an end?
Yeah, okay. So, look, questions on this can be quite complicated, but I think this kind of gets at sort of where the American trend line is. Americans on the Russia-Ukraine war want a quicker end of the war, but Russia keeps its captured land. Look at this, 50%, bare majority coming in here, support Ukraine's right to fight, even if it means a longer war. That's at 48. This is very, very close. But the trend line on this question is so important because that want a quick end of the war, look at this. You go back to August of 2022, it was at 31%. Now we're at 50%. That is a rocket ship upwards in terms of the Americans who want a quick end to the war, even if it means Russia keeps the captured Ukraine land. Americans are moving closer and closer to wanting a compromise, even if it means that Ukraine doesn't really get what it set out to want, at least at the beginning of this war.
And Americans' views on Russia are shifting as well.
Absolutely. One of the reasons why we're seeing this is Americans who say Russia is an enemy. You go back to 2023, it was 64%. In that CBS News YouGov poll, it was down to 34%. Now, there is a chunk that believes that Russia's an unfriendly nation, but the percentage who believe that they're either an ally or friendly, that's up to 34% as well, basically equal to the percentage who say that they're an enemy. So views on Russia have become, let's say, a little less isolated in terms of wanting Russia to be way out there on their own, thinking that they're an enemy.
So like I was saying earlier, it's like there's not really a good guy in this scenario here. And yes, Russia invaded some land and they've killed a lot of people, and that is not okay. But at the same time, there's been a lot of corruption as well in the Ukraine, as we've seen over the years. And let's go now to the next topic here. This was an incredible video I want to show you guys, and we're just going to play it through here. Glenn Beck went on the whiteboard and talked about how Trump's positioning on Trump-Russia is genius. Here's a quote: "This guy is a freaking genius, and this is the first time I've seen a president actually stand up for American first without hurting anyone else." Let's dive into this. This is amazing stuff.
Here on, all right, I want to show you a chalkboard or a whiteboard here on the 3D or 4D chess that President Trump is playing. Nobody gets it. This guy is a genius, and the EU just shot themselves in the foot. It'll work to America's advantage, I think, but you could have been a winner too as well. Let me show you. What are Trump's goals? Because he is marking everything off. He promised, I did that, did that, did that. Some of his goals: end the never-ending wars, put America first, reduce spending, reduce waste and corruption, tech and AI, and box China. Make sure we're still a superpower. Okay, let me just show you what he was doing and what he is doing with Putin and everybody else. He's offering a deal where Russia, because be honest, Russia lost. Okay, everybody knows that. Nobody's saying that, but it's true. Russia was supposed to be able to go in there for 2 weeks and take all of the Ukraine. Ukraine is not a NATO ally. Ukraine stopped them. Now, we helped, but it wasn't NATO, so you don't need that. Because really, if you can't beat Ukraine, you think you're going to beat Poland and all of NATO? That's ridiculous. Russia lost, but Trump is offering him a way to let him claim victory. He can claim victory. The war is over. Plus, money doesn't talk, it screams. We are after rare minerals. Rare minerals is going to do this for us. Tech AI, we cannot exist without rare minerals. 70 to 90% of them come from China now. They got a lock on rare minerals. You're not going to be the world leader if we don't have them. That's why Trump said, maybe Greenland should be the 51st state. No, they weren't interested. But if this falls apart, Greenland, look out, you could be the 51st state. He wants to box China. He wants to put America first, end the war, reduce spending. Okay, what he's doing is he's offering to buy the rare minerals in the Russian part of Ukraine. Putin's going to like that. It ends the war, and he can say he won because he's taking money now. It also, on our side, weakens the relationship between Russia and China. That relationship, China's not going to be for all of that. And we've made an enemy a frenemy. Putin, you can't trust him. But better to have a relationship like this than to be saying that we might going to go into nuclear war. Here's Ukraine. Let Zelensky claim victory because Russia lost. So he claims victory. He gets a secure Ukraine. Why? Not because we put boots on the ground or he's become a NATO member, but because we want to buy his rare earth minerals as well. So that will help them with money, rebuilding. We'll send people in, companies will come in. They'll build the mines, they'll build everything. So Ukraine will make money, Russia will make money. We get rare earth minerals at a much cheaper level. And China is no longer involved at all. And it's, again, reduced our dependency on China. Also, it stops our money pipeline, which, reduce waste and corruption. Okay, the EU, you blew this, guys. It would have allowed you to let the EU claim victory. NATO did it. We won. We held him back. It would have stopped the war, restored their economy, secure their economy, and Europe, you'd be relevant again, okay? Nobody's afraid of you. Boots on the ground. What are the French just going to actually leave boots on the ground because nobody's going to... Idiots. So EU could have won as well. And here's what we get out of it. Tell me this is a problem for anybody. We are again a world leader by brain, not our military. No muscle in this. We're not coercing anyone. Everyone can win from this. You box China. You get the rare earth minerals. We're forward thinking for once. Less money to NATO. Europe is stronger. No war. America wins with no losers. Let's see. Reduce spending. put America first, end the never-ending wars. Gee, yeah, Donald Trump's an idiot. This guy's a freaking genius, and this is the first time I've seen a president actually stand up for America first without hurting everyone else. We all win.
That right there is so good. And I didn't want to stop the video at any point because it was just so perfectly articulated. I didn't want to break the chain of you watching. But just imagine all of that. Okay, we all come out, we all get what we want. And again, Russia will claim victory, Ukraine will claim victory. But at the end of the day, that's all semantics. They can just we've all seen that too, political posturing. Let them do it each. But at the end of the day, under this scenario, we get no war, we get peace. Both countries would get money and resources. The United States would get resources. And it's a better world, and it's a safer world. And China, as he said, box China, damaging that relationship between Russia and China. I mean, this is just the best of all worlds, guys. And look, this is the first step of the golden age, and we are living through it. So if you have stayed this long, I want to appreciate you so much because, seriously, you have no idea how much it helps our channel when you do stick around this long. So to you who are still watching, I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like this video. And if you're still here, please comment below and let me know what you think about any of these three topics. Like what you think about President Trump's update, what you think about CNN putting liberals in a reality check, and then what you think about Glenn Beck's breakdown, because this was masterful. You know that he'd been thinking about that for a little while. He just had to get that one off his chest. So please also send this video to a friend, and it will help us out a lot. So I will see you in the next video.